Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back on the YgoPro duel video. New DDD support coming out soon in the OCG, so let's take a quick look at the new cards first, and then as always a few example games just to showcase these new cards. The first one here is DDD, or at least DD Ghost. Ghost is an okay card, might be a one-off, might be just fine as a one-off in the deck. It's a level 2 Dark Tuner, so giving the deck an extra option to go for a possible Trishula play. But next to this is when your Ghost is sent to the graveyard, you can target any Dark Contract card in your graveyard or any DD monster in your graveyard, and then send the same copy of your, at least with the same name, the same card from your deck to the grave. So kind of like a Foolish Burial. I think your Ghost is just fine as a one-off in your deck. The second card here, their trap card, their new trap card, Dark Contract with the Eternal Darkness, is much more important. But yeah, as soon as this card is active, your opponent cannot target monsters on the field with spell and trap effects, and also your opponent cannot tribute monsters on the field for tribute summon or use them as a fusion, synchro or exceed material. So that's kind of important, is that the monsters need to be face up on the field, so that's something important. But this kind of acts like domain lock, you know, for Monarchs 2.0, so your opponent pretty much blocking out of their extra deck, well yeah, only the monsters with only their monsters on their side of the field. Great effect, but big restriction on this card is that you need to control 2 DD cards in your Pendulum Zone, and you know DDDs is not really the Pendulum deck, you know, like Pendulum Magicians or Performer Pals were back in the old days, or DD is not a deck that you want to Pendulum Summon with. Rarely you will use their scales, but there are of course options like Ragnarok or Thomas, for example. You use your Pendulum effect, but rarely you will have your scales filled up, or use your DD monsters to set up your scales. But if you have them in your scales, the better. You can use this card's full effect and block your opponent out of the duel. And then another card that got revealed was a new Exceed, Darius, Boulder King Darius, 2 level 3 Fiend type monsters. It's okay, but again, not really too great. I think options you can make with, yeah, like Howling, Night Howling is an option with, I'm not really sure about this new Exceed. This is currently my build, feel free to leave suggestions. The list is not like super high tested. DDDs is I think personally DDDs is one of the most, or at least one of the hardest decks to play with. It's not a deck that you can just pick up and like test or play. No, the deck has so many combinations and card choices you can make in deck building. It's so difficult. Okay, let's see a few example games. Alright, first example, and I think I get to start. Yeah, immediately upstart Goblin to draw into the Swirl Slime, normal summon Kepler. Kepler gets a Surge, Dark Contract, you know, the searching and shenanigans. Here, eventually decide to go for at least use Ragnarok in my Pendulum Scale, and eventually also use Alexander to reborn my Lamia. Eventually I can go for Crystal Wing. Then eventually I can also trigger my Necro Slime summoning Oracle King, and that triggers my Genghis, and Genghis reborns Lamia again. Again I go for Siegfried, and eventually also go for Omega as well. This is an excellent setup, but yeah, on top of that I do have my both my Pendulum Scales filled up with both Ragnarok and Thomas, so that meets the requirement of my new Dark Contract card. So now my opponent cannot use, at least my opponent cannot target monsters with card effects, with spells or traps on the field. So I'm not really sure if he would have been, or at least if he was able to use a field spell to target his B, or at least, yeah, to equip an ABC monster from his deck to a monster on his side of the field. Not really sure, but I don't think so, but feel free to correct me. But most importantly, because I have both Pendulum Scales filled up with both DDD monsters, my opponent cannot use the monsters on his side of the field for, yeah, Synchro, Exceed, Fusions. Anyway, this is again an excellent field, but I think, yeah, indeed, in previous turn I completely forgot that Ragnarok also has that restriction. Well, at least his pendulum effect has that restriction if that, if you reborn a card with its effect from your grave, battle damage will be halved. But in the end, it's not going to matter too much. But again, one of the better games to showcase the power of that new Dark Contract card. Second example, eventually had pretty much the same combinations. So now I'm not going to use Ragnarok's pendulum effect, not going to put it in a scale, but this monster effect is in this case much better, and eventually again make Formula Synchron, go for Siegfried as well, go for Crystal Wing, indeed fusion summon for Wolf, be a Wolf, and go for the rank 8 Exceed play. But in this case, that new Dark Contract card is kinda dead. Again, not using my pendulum scales, so I'm not really sure if DDDs should play this new Dark Contract card. Maybe just one copy, but again, the requirements is a bit counterproductive. You know, DDDs don't really want to use their pendulum scales, and this card kind of forces you to use your scales. But again, the build might just be, DDDs can just adjust, change their list maybe for this card, but I'm not really sure about that. Last example, the opponent gets a start, and indeed, showcasing that new DD Ghost, which is also an excellent card, level 2 tuner, but anyway, he uses Strike on my Kepler, so no Search. He does have a Twin Twister set, but he doesn't want to waste it on my Thomas, so use Thomas to get back my Kepler and eventually go for Trishula, so very nice here. Thanks to my DD Ghost, and yes, sadly his B monster on the side of the field is protected by A, and and thus his B is unaffected by Trishula's monster effect. So otherwise I would have been in a very good position, banishing his D on his field, his B on his field and the B in his graveyard, but yeah, this kind of blows. So normal summon my Kepler to try to get a search a fusion card. But yeah, that makes sense. He reveals MACR, and I think I have to give him a few draws, use Ragnarok's monster effect to pop, at least try to pop his ABC Dragon Buster, but he can still tag out. The fact that I'm not running like Swords of Concealing Light or Kaijus does bite me in the ass here, so that's something I'm definitely thinking about, is adding maybe Kaiju against Drancia, or yeah, cards like Drancia, cards like ABC Dragon Buster, since those cards are still very good against DDDs, but yeah, let's not talk about Dimensional Barrier, still one of the best MVPs against DDDs, and probably one of the biggest reasons why DDDs are currently completely out of the OCG format. But anyway, these new cards, they were definitely interesting. DD Ghost and the new Dark Contract card. Not really sure about the rank 3 Exceed. It needs main deck setup, but yeah, anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.